Good day, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Hua, and I am the host for today's discussion. Joining me today are two distinguished guests, which is my name is Queenie. I'm Nicole. Thank you both for joining me today and share the valuable insight with us. Today, we'll be discussing about a topic that is highly relevant in today's digital age, which is the impact of social media towards students' mental well-being. Social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X have become an important part of students' daily life. They are used for communication, entertainment, and self-express. While these platforms offers many benefits, concerns about their influence on mental well-being has also increased. As students spend many hours online, questions arise about how social media affects emotions, behaviors, and overall mental health. So in this discussion, we will explore both the positive and negative of social media, examine its broader implication, and discuss possible strategies for healthier digital habits. So let us begin with our first topic. One of the most commonly discussed benefits of social media is its ability to connect with people. Students nowadays can communicate with friends, family members, and community almost instantly regardless of distance. So from your perspective, how does social media influence students' emotional well-being through these social interactions?
I believe social media has significantly improved communication among students. For many university students, particularly those who study far from home, social media provides a convenient way to maintain relationships with family members and friends. Regular communication can help students feel supported during stressful periods and reduce feeling of loneliness. In addition, social media allows students to join communities that share similar interests or experience. This online community can provide encouragement, advice, and emotional support that students may not always receive in their immediate surroundings.
I agree that social media can strengthen the communication and create opportunity for support. However, I think it is important to recognize that connecting to many people does not always mean feeling emotionally connected. Online interactions are often brief and neglect the need of face-to-face communication. As a result, some students may have large online networks while still experiencing feeling of loneliness or isolation. In some cases, online communications may even replace opportunities for more meaningful personal interaction.
Both of you have shared meaningful insight. On one hand, social media helps students to stay connected and access support. But on the other hand, online interaction may not support the same depth of connection as face-to-face connection. It seems that social media can contribute positively to emotional well-being when it supports meaningful relationships and encourage human connections. So let's now move on to another area where social media plays an increasingly important role, which is education. Nowadays, many students use social media to access learning materials and educational videos. So how would you evaluate its impact on learning and academic performance?
From an educational perspective, social media offers many advantages.
even when they initially use this platform for education purpose. For example, a students may open social media platforms to search academic information, but eventually spend a significant of time viewing unrelated content.
This is something many students can be properly related to, as social media appears to offer both educational opportunity and potential distraction at the same time. So how should we solve this problem?
I believe personal responsibility plays an important role. The platform provides access to both useful and distracting content. Students who develop effective time management skills may benefit greatly from educational results while limiting unnecessary distraction.
While I agree that personal responsibility is important, I think the design of social media should also be considered. Many features are designed to keep users engaged for periods. Therefore, maintaining focus requires conscious efforts and self-discipline.
Thank you. Those are thoughtful perspectives. Therefore, students need to manage their attention carefully in order to benefit from it. Besides that, another issue also often receives attention is social media dependency. Many students spend several hours online every day, but frequently use does not necessarily mean addiction. So how should we understand this concern more?
I think it's important to approach this topic carefully. Using social media frequently does not necessarily mean that a person is addicted. Students rely on social media for communication, academic work, entertainment, and organizational activities. Therefore, it's natural for many students to spend a considerable amount of time online.
It's true that frequent use alone is not enough to indicate tendency. Nevertheless, I think the key question is whether students is remain in control of their behavior. If they find out it is difficult to stop scrolling, repeatedly check their phones without a clear reasons, or ignore their responsibilities because of social media, then concern about privacy become more justified.
You have raised an important issues. Perhaps the real question is not simply how much time students spend online, but whether social media begins to interfere with their daily responsibility and decision making. Would you agree?
Exactly. A student may spend several hours online for productive purpose, while another may spend less time online but experience greater negative effects. The impact of daily life is often a more meaningful indicator than screen time alone.
I will also add that these habits are often developed gradually. Many students do not immediately notice changes in their behavior because each interaction appears insignificant. Over time, repeated patterns may affect productivity, sleep quality, and overall well-being.
This is a useful way of looking. It appears that maintaining self-control over social media usage is one of the key factors in determining whether social media remains beneficial or becomes problematic. Before moving on to the broader implication, I would like us to discuss another issue that also affects many young people today, which is online social pressure. This includes cyberbullying as well as the fear of missing out, or commonly known as FOMO. So, how significant are these concerns among students?
I believe cyberbullying remains a serious concern. Unlike traditional bullying, online harassment can occur at any time and may reach a much wider audience. Negative comments, rumors, and personal attacks can spread rapidly and remain accessible they find it difficult to accept the situation.
Besides cyberbullying, many students also experience the pressure while comparing themselves with the others. So how does FOMO affect mental well-being and everyday behavior?
I think FOMO often creates a feeling that other people having more enjoyable, successful, or meaningful experience. When students frequently compare their life with what they see online, they may feel that they are missing opportunities or falling behind their peers. For example, students may feel anxious when they saw their peers posting a holiday trips or academic achievements on social media. This may lead to increased anxiety and reduced self-esteem among students.
Both of you have highlighted concerns that are increasingly relevant today. Today, many students remain connected to digital platforms almost constantly through messages, notifications, and social media feeds. So, from your perspective, how does this constant connectivity affect students' mental well-being over time?
From my perspective, constant connectivity has changed the way students experience rest and daily routines. In the past, students could clearly separate study time, social time, and personal time. However, with social media, these boundaries have become less clear. Even during rest periods, students still receive messages or feel the need to check updates, which can prevent them from fully relaxing.
This is a reasonable explanation. In addition, constant connectivity may create a subtle sense of pressure where students feel that they need to respond quickly or stay updated at all times. Even if there is no urgent requirements, the presence of notifications can create a feeling of mental alertness, which is difficult to fully disconnect. Over time, this may contribute to mental fatigue even if students are not engaging in any physically demanding activities.
That perspective is worth considering. Another effect of social media is on self-esteem and self-image. Many platforms include features such as likes, comments, shares, and follower counts. While these features may seem harmless, but they can influence how students see themselves and compare themselves with the others. So, in your opinion, how does this form of online feedback affect students' self-esteem?
In my opinion, online feedback can have both positive and negative effects. On the positive side, receiving positive comments or recognition can increase confidence and provide a sense of encouragement. However, problems may arise when students begin to rely too heavily on this type of validation to feel good about themselves.
Your ideas hold true. When students start measuring their self-worth based on online responses, they may become more sensitive in fluctuation and engagement. For example, a post that receives less attention than expected may lead to disappointment, even if the content is meaningful.
We have touched on an issue that many young people experience today. That raises an interesting question. Would you agree that social media can gradually shape the way how students define success and self-growth?
Yes, I believe so. Instead of focusing on personal progress, students may begin to compare themselves with others more frequently, especially based on visible online indicators.
Yeah. In addition, these comparisons may not always be realistic because social media presents selective highlights rather than completely reality. This can further distort self-perception over time.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts. long-term implications and how current habits may influence students in the future. So, how much social media use today will affect students as they transition into childhood and future careers.
One possible long-term effect is on concentration and attention span. If students become used to short and fast-paced content, they will find it more difficult to focus on tasks that require sustained effort and patience. This could affect academic performance as well as future workplace productivity.
I will also add that emotional regulation may be affected. Social media provides instant access to entertainment and distraction, which may reduce students' ability to cope with boredom, stress, and difficult emotions without external stimulation. As a result, they may become more dependent on quick emotional relief rather than developing long-term coping strategy.
This is a valuable insight. With that in mind, let's now move on to the possible solutions. After discussing both the benefits and challenges of social media, it is clear that avoiding it completely is not a realistic solution. Instead, it may be more useful to focus on how students use social media in a healthier and more balanced way. So, from your perspective, what are the practical strategies can students adopt?
I believe one of the most effective strategies is developing intentional usage habits. Instead of using social media automatically whenever there's free time or boredom, students should try to use it with a clear purpose, such as checking important message or accessing specific information. This helps reduce minor scoring and allow students to regain control over their usage patterns.
There is merit in this suggestion. In addition, setting a clear boundaries can also be helpful. For example, students can allocate specific time periods for social media use and avoid using it during study session, meals, or before sleeping. Such boundaries may help reduce distractions and improve both concentration and sleep quality.
While personal responsibility is important, students also easily influenced by the people around them. So, in your opinion, what role should educators and parents play in encouraging healthier social media habits?
In my view, educators can play an important role by developing student digital literacy skills. Instead of simply warning students about the negative effects of social media, educators can teach students how to critically evaluate online content, understand how algorithms work, and recognize that not all online information reflects reality. This can help students become more awake and responsible users.
Your view is well-founded, and I think that parents also play a crucial role. Parents can encourage balanced digital habits at home by promoting open communication and setting reasonable expectations regarding screen time. More importantly, they can model healthy digital use themselves, since students are often learned behaviors by observing adults.
So far, we have focused on students, parents, and educators. However, another important stakeholder is the social media platform itself. To what extent should social media companies be responsible for protecting users' mental well-being?
I believe social media companies do have a significant responsibility, since these platforms are designed to maximize user engagement. They have a direct influence on user behavior. Therefore, it would be reasonable to expect them to also consider the psychological impact of their design features.
right, certain platforms features such as infinite scrolling, recommendation algorithms, and constant notifications are specifically designed to keep users engaged for longer times. While these features improve users' experience in some way, they may also contribute to overuse and distraction. Therefore, companies should also consider implementing more well-being oriented features.
This is certainly something worth reflecting on. If platform design can influence behavior, then company may have a role in creating healthier online environment. Would it be fair to say that addressing these issues requires cooperation from multiple partners?
Yes, I believe that is necessary. No single group can solve this issue alone, as social media is deeply integrated on many aspects of modern life.
I totally agree with you. A balanced approach involving multiple stakeholders would be more effective in promoting healthier digital environments.
So to conclude our discussion today, it is shown that social media can bring both opportunity and challenges for students' mental health. It can strengthen communities, support learnings, and provide access to valuable communities at the same time. But it can also contribute to distraction, social pressure, emotional fatigue, and unhealthy behavior patterns when it is not managed carefully. Eventually, social media itself is not entirely harmful, but also not entirely benefits. Its impact is highly depends on how responsibility it is to be used and how efficient individuals maintain the balance in these digital lives.
To summarize, responsible and balanced usage is important. Social media can be useful when used with care purpose, but harmful when it becomes uncontrolled or excessive.
We also conclude that support from educators, parents, and platforms is necessary to help students build healthier digital habits and reduce potential risks.
Thank you for listening to our podcast today. We hope this discussion provides useful information to all of you.